Go in English. Takže čaute, tu je Roman zo Scandinavian Study a rozhodli sme sa vám približiť trošku štúdium v Anglicku aj formou live streamov. Dnes máme v Bratislave akciu, kde prišli anglické alebo britské školy. Máme tu Coventry University, London South Bank University. A dneska tu mám vedľa seba. I have today next to me Sui Yip. She is a senior officer from London South Bank University. We will conduct this interview in English language.
Please.
And we have coffee here. Ďakujeme.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Ďakujem. And we will try to
answer some questions that you may have.
Yes, you may have about all kind of topics, accommodation, student jobs.
Yeah.
So, Sui, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bratislava.
Thank you.
And if you can, for beginning, just a little bit introduce me, your school.
Yeah.
Just something about London South Bank University.
Well, everybody knows London.
Yeah.
And with my particular university, we are one of the oldest universities in London. We're about 126 years old now, so we just celebrated another birthday.
Okay.
So we are very old. We're one of the larger universities as well. We're around 19,000 students. So we're very, very big, but we're not one of the biggest, scary, London universities.
Okay.
The advantage of London South Bank is that we are one campus. So it means that all your classes, all your friends will be around, the same area. Your accommodation is on campus.
Where is located your campus?
So if you guys know London very well, it's located in Zone 1. So that's the centre of London.
Okay.
And the closest, landmarks are things like Waterloo Station. London Bridge is very close, 10-minute walk away as well. So it's south of the river. So we always say, are you north or south of the River Thames? And we are just south of the river.
Yes, because you are called London South Bank.
We're called London South Bank, so we're just off the South Bank.
Okay, perfect.
And if you want to look at tube stations, our nearest tube station is Elephant and Castle.
Perfect. So how many faculties you have, or what kind of faculties?
We don't call them faculties at my place, we actually call them schools. So we have 7 schools in total. So we have the applied science, we have the arts and creative industries, we have the business, obviously, we have engineering, built environment and architecture, law and social sciences, and health and social care.
Okay. I know that you're traveling a lot because you are responsible for bringing students from all around.
Yeah.
And so we just came from Brazil. Today you are in Slovakia. Tomorrow you're going to Vienna, Austria.
Tomorrow I go to Vienna.
And I'm telling this because maybe I would like to know more about the structure of students.
Yeah.
Obviously, the most students coming from England or UK, and the rest.
Yeah. So because it's London, so it's a very multicultural city anyway. At the university, that 19,000 students that I mentioned, around 70% are UK. By UK, I mean UK-based. It's not necessarily that they're all British, because again, being London, we have a lot of people who happen to live in London, and want to study at local university. So although they're British living, or EU citizens living in the UK, or Brazilian, living in the UK, they can study with us as well. So what we say is nationality-wise, we have around 120 nationalities.
Okay.
The most popular ones tend to be Europeans, because it's their nearest neighbour.
Perfect. I think this is one of the advantages to come into study in the UK, because they don't put you into international class where you're studying with people, for example, from Poland, Germany and Italy, and their second language is English, but you're studying with Britons.
Absolutely. So I will say that some courses may be a little bit more popular with our international network. So obviously things like business are very international as well. So I can't tell you the exact proportion of makeup of nationalities in the class, but generally you'll always find British students in the class as well with you. So it's a real mix depending on the program that you want to study.
So what you're saying that the level of English, if someone is coming and never lived in England but has just ordinary knowledge of English language from high school, can go gradually up
I would say so, yeah. Obviously we're on academic English,
Yes.
So we're on academic English. So if it's general English, I would say spoken language, okay, great, it's not a problem. But when it comes to being at university level, you're writing and you're reading. So, you know, we would like our students to not struggle when it comes to academic side of learning as well. So, which is why we say we need you to be at certain levels of academic English as well. So, you know, if there's further support that we need to give them, we know about it quite early.
Perfect. You know, the good thing is when you come into study in UK, that there is no language, obviously there is no language barrier. If you have some basic, not basic knowledge of English, you have to read some level of English, but also as a student you have life after school.
Yes.
Somehow you have to melt into society. And how it is with jobs, for example, what kind of jobs students have?
Well, one thing I want to really highlight about London South Bank is that we are the #1 university for graduate employment this year. So that's #1 out of all universities in the UK. Part of our university ethos is to look at our students to get things like internships whilst they're studying with us. The reason why is because it's very important they understand very early on about the importance of what it's like to work in industry as well, to get those contacts, for people to know who they are, to get that experience on their CV. Once they have that, once they graduate, we tend to find that a lot of the students can get jobs quite easily as well. Certain industries are going to be easier than others. That's why about 90% of our courses include some type of internship.
Okay, perfect.
As well. Now, ones that can't are things like psychology, forensic science, because they're very much, you know, based on you being graduates as well. But even law, we have our own law clinic as well, so we give our students the opportunity to practice law with supervised solicitors.
When you mentioned the word clinic, many people ask about medicine courses.
Yeah.
Do you have any medicine?
Unfortunately, I don't have medicine. What I do have is nursing.
Okay.
So from nursing, it's children's, adults, mental health, midwifery. We have radiography as well, and we have other health-related courses, but unfortunately not medicine.
Okay. And once people finish, for example, nursing, they can start to work. They have certificate.
Usually, you're working whilst you're studying.
Okay.
So, depending on what style of nursing that you want to do, we place you in the hospitals because they're all NHS run as well. Now, if you want to go to children's nursing, we are the only university to have a link with Great Ormond Street Hospital, which is the world famous children's hospital as well. So, normally our nurses pretty much very, very high employability. We're one of the biggest providers of nurses to the UK.
Perfect. Another thing, accommodation. Many people have perception of London. It's a metropolis. It's 8 million people. How many?
Too many.
10 million people living there. So obviously the price of rent is going up. Can you support yourself while studying in London with your work, with your student part-time job? Can you somehow live out
absolutely.
of it?
So, out of those 19,000 students, a good 85% work part-time. Okay, because it's London and they need to support themselves.
London is a big city, a lot of clubs, a lot of restaurants to work, a lot of hotels.
Exactly. So I always tell students, look, if you want to have a life where you're partying, you're going out to eat all the time, then it's going to be expensive. Now, I don't do that. A lot of my friends don't do that. Okay, because we're working and, you know, nobody can afford that lifestyle unless you work in a bank. So we always tell students it is possible to get a part-time job. Now, at university, you will be in class between 12 and 15 hours per week, generally, okay? So depending on the courses on average. That gives you much time to actually get a part-time job, but still to do your homework, to do your personal research work as well. And at the university, there's two ways of getting jobs. One is to go privately, obviously, and work in Starbucks or work in an office. The other one is to apply to be a student ambassador with the university. And we hire around 100 students every year. And they do lots of different jobs. Could be like this, doing, you know, like a live feed or a blog or something like that. We pay you to do it, and you're paid around £11 an hour as well. So that fits around your studies.
Okay. Do you know how much is the wage for student jobs here?
Per
hour
in
in Slovakia?
In
No, in
Slovakia,
Bratislava.
no idea.
It's around 350 euros, so £11 in London.
It's about £11. So a lot of the students really, you know, if you're a really outgoing student and you really want to, you know, push about why it's great to study at South Bank University, then we're kind of like pushing those students to apply to be ambassadors.
Perfect. all people who are interested in studying in UK, they know that you have to pay tuition fees,
Yes.
which are £9,250 a year. Do students have to pay anything up on top of it, for example, for books or for any
Depending on the
materials?
course, now I'm going to talk about South Bank University. So depending on the course, yes.
Okay.
Now some courses actually give you things like iPads, or they give you books, or they give you access. Now we guys know everything is electronic now as well, so you have access to an electronic bank worth of material as well. So it's not necessarily that you have to buy a textbook.
Okay, perfect.
There's also a library. Now, it's universities, so you always have to have a library and have access to a library. So students, we tend to find, don't struggle when it comes to getting the material that they need as well, because a lot of it is online. So you have Moodle as well, which is an online...
Moodle?
Moodle, which is what most British universities use. And it's how a lot of students present their work, they upload and they download information as well. So there's platforms that we have at the university which are internal only towards students and staff, for them to be able to communicate with each other. Everything's electronic now. Don't ask me, I'm not very good with technology.
All right, perfect. And maybe some of the last questions. We know the situation about Brexit is not clear, but we have here Sui, she's from UK, so she should know a bit more about the Brexit as me. So what's your take on Brexit?
Okay, number one. People think that the UK is very anti-Europe at the moment. Now, I've said this to everybody. How much of the UK do you think voted out and voted in? What's the
Quite
percentage?
close, no? 51 to 49%.
Pretty much, yeah. That's still 49% voted in. They were adamant they wanted to stay. That number has now actually gone up as well, because all the issues that Brexit is now bringing as well. The UK is still a welcoming country, and London especially voted around 70% to remain.
And also it's multicultural.
Very multicultural.
metropolis.
It is. We are very much open to not just the EU. Okay, this is international as well.
People from Africa, China.
Everywhere. The universities, every university in the UK is banding together to lobby against the government doing anything bad towards not just EU students but international students as well. Visas for those international students, EU rights to study, no visa requirements, loans, having access to everything as normal. We have the Erasmus program as well. We have study abroad options in Europe. We have internships in Europe. We want to remain open. There's research opportunities, research money coming from the EU as well. You know, there's all these things to work out. So we're lobbying very much against Brexit having any negative effect on our student population.
Perfect. Sweet. Last thing, we managed this quite well. Last thing, maybe because you are from there, what is one special thing about London South Bank? Why should someone choose London South Bank University?
London South Bank is a local university. It's been around for such a long time, 126 years now.
So when you have, graduation, you have all these...
Oh yeah, of course you do. You have your graduation. It's on the South Bank, actually, as well. In, I forget the building. You graduate, you get your cap, you get your gown as normal. It's just a normal university graduation. It's held over a week because there's so many thousands of students graduating. The university's ethos, which is why I like working at the university, is very much about the student. It's not just about giving you your education, you graduate, bye-bye, see you later. It's about supporting you through your entire study, supporting your business ideas, enterprise as well. We are the winner of the Entrepreneurial University of the Year 2016-2017. So we're really helping our students in really developing what they want to do whilst they study. Education now is not just about studying and getting your degree, it's about what else your education, your experience will give you as well. So we're very much about, you're paying me £9,250 a year, so what are we going to give you on top of that as well? And South Bank is particularly very strong for that.
Perfect. So I think so. If you are serious about studying in the UK, London South Bank is a good option to somehow exceed your expectations. London is metropolis. It's easy to access from each city, each main airport in Europe. So if you need some more information, you can speak directly to Scandinavian Study, or we can connect you with anyone or someone from office in London. So thank you very much.
No, thank you.
It was not that bad, right?
No.
Okay, guys, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.